Starting off with a little horizontal and vertical lines in the equation. We're going to learn the basics. Could we find the slope between these 2 points right here? Let's do it. Let's do m equals. Who's on top? X's or Y's, baby? Y's are on top. So 6 minus 6, like y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Oh no! What's 6 minus 6? 0 over -5. And that cleans up. You could always punch that in your calculator if you're not sure what that is. It's either 0 or undefined. What is it? Is it 0 or undefined? It is 0. Then they say, bro, could you plot those 2 points? So let's do that. Let's plot 3, 6. So that's 3 on the x-axis, 6 up here on the y-axis, 3, 6. And then -2, 6. Boom. And then take y'all straight edge and connect those together. And that was a little warm-up, even though we've kind of talked about it before, to know what kind of line that is that connects those, horizontal, vertical, or oblique. Horizontal, right? But they ask us to write the equation of that line. Interesting. Could you tell me where it crossed the y-axis? Mine isn't the best. I slipped a little bit on this. Where does it cross the y-axis at? 6. So I know a y-intercept is 6, right? Are you with me on that? And I know my slope is how much, because we just found it? 0. So if I go y equals mx plus b, that's a little silly, though, my friends, because putting 0 in for m would mean you'd have 0x plus 6. This needs cleaned up. What is 0 times anything turn out to be? It is 0, so that disappears in that case, and the equation would just be y equals 6. Like the slope is nothing, right? You know, so the x just kind of got taken care of. And what you'll hear is myself and Mr. Dreyer, we don't really call these horizontal lines. We call them horizontal lines, just because when you write the equation of a horizontal line, what is the only variable in it out of x's and y's? What's the only variable? Just a y. And check it out. If I was to put this dot on here, what's the y value of that point? 6. What's the y value of that point? 6. What's the y value of that point? Any point on that line is going to have a y value of 6. So it's cheat code time. They say write the equation of the line contained by the following points. I will teach you how to tell if it's horizontal, vertical, or oblique just by looking. Check it out. Do you see that these y values are the same in those 2 ordered pairs? So on homework today, if that happens, you know need 0 work shown. They are asking you, what is the equation of the line? Hey, which value is that, x or y? So y would equal how much? Y equals 1. Now here's where we get a little confusing. I'm going to ask you what type of line it is. Your answer is horizontal. What's the slope? The slope is 0. The slope of every horizontal line is 0. Cool. So let's try the cheat code again. First I'm going to look at my y's. Are they the same? Yes or no? So the equation of that line is y equals -3. Again, be careful of what the question is asking you. What kind of line is that? You get horizontal, vertical, or oblique. What kind of line is that? Horizontal. What is the slope? 0. Cool. Hey, check it out, man. Look at this. Boom, boom, boom. All those guys are the same. This one doesn't matter. It's about the y's being the same. Are the y's the same? So that would be y equals 1. That is a horizontal line with a slope of 0. And then this one, boom. Are the y's the same? It's amazing how when things change here in a few minutes, we kind of forget all about this little trick that I showed you. If the y's are the same, that's going to be a horizontal line. Check it out. Find the slope between these 2 guys, so let's do the work. M equals. Whenever they ask you to find the slope, we'll do the work. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And I got a -5 upstairs. And I got a what downstairs? 0. That's either 0 or undefined. What is -5 divided by 0? That is undefined. Undefined. Which many times on homework today you'll have to type in as DNE like they did before. Sometimes they have you type undefined. Sometimes they have you type DNE for does not exist. So let's plot those 2 points. 2, 8. And 2, 3. And just as you were suspecting, if you connect those together with a line, you get not a horizontal line, but a vertical line. And I'll give you a secret chance to find the equation of that line with a neighbor. What would be the equation of that line? And the most popular wrong answer would be y equals 2. Almost. It's not y equals 2. What's it got to be? X equals 2. Are you with me on that? X equals 2. That's the weird dude, because isn't the x values the same in each one of those? So I'm going to do one more with you, and then I'll turn you loose. Check this out. Let's see if it's horizontal. Not. It is not horizontal. The y's are not the same. Let's see if it's vertical. Is this guy vertical? The x's are the same. What is the equation of that line then? X equals 5. It is a vertical line, and that magic question, what's the slope? Starts with a U. It's undefined. Please do the other 3 of these. Write the equation of those lines. And the scariest one of them all is this one. When they ask you what the slope is, you are so tempted to want to say 0 on that. But that is a vertical line with a slope that is undefined. You're cool with that? Hey, after teaching for so long, it is the most missed thing on this test, man. Horizontal and vertical lines. We spend so much energy on oblique lines that we forget all about the stuff that's supposed to be super easy. So check it out. When it's an oblique line, we're in trouble right here, because all we know how to do is use slope-intercept form. Here, this is the slope. Are you with me on that? How do I know it's a slope? What letter tells me that it's a slope? M. Very good. But this is not the y-intercept. This is just some random old point. If it was a y-intercept, that x value has to be 0. Like if I plotted the point 1,5 on the graph, it is not on the y-axis at all. So they did not give me the steak and the potatoes that I needed to write steak and potato form. I got the steak, that's the slope, but I don't have the potatoes. So what we do is we'll use this weird old formula right here, which you have to memorize. Its name is also not creative. It is called point slope form. Guess why they call it point slope form? Let me get a couple bits of highlights right here. Why they call it point slope form? You must be provided a point that this guy goes through. Do we have a point, like an ordered pair? Do we have a point? Do we know the slope in that case? See, that point slope form. So what's weird about it is it's got these like y's and y1s and these x's and x1s. So here's what we got. I can guarantee you know, if I can get my eraser, you know who this guy is. What's that guy right there in this formula? Well, m is the, I know in this case it's 2, but in general it's the slope, right? It's the slope, right? Cool? Cool with what I'm saying? The point that they have provided for you is this x1, y1. So what's with the other x's and y's? They have to be there, you know, for you to have the equation, like y equals mx plus b. So what we do is we start with point slope form, and let's substitute in. It starts with y equals. It just takes a little bit of practice. So I'm literally going to write what this is, but substitute in as I go. We got to watch our signs, because here's a minus. So I need to do minus, and then y1 is the y value in this ordered pair that they have given us. Carefully, on a Monday morning, is it 1 or is it 5? It is 5. Are you cool with me so far? I'm just rewriting this. Then there's an equal sign, and then I got m, which that's given to me is an m2 in this case. There is then a parenthesis. Inside, you see how that's just a plain Jane x, right? It doesn't have a little subscript on it, so you will have a plain Jane x right here. Then minus x1. x1 is the x value of the point that they gave you, which in this case isn't it a 1 in that spot. So before we go further, I would like to just make sure we're cool that this is the slope right here, and this is the point that they have given me in this situation for point slope form. Then you have to read very carefully on your homework is if they want that for your final answer, that's an equation in point slope form, or if they want it in slope intercept form. We're going to do both on every one of these. So this is point slope form. Let's get it to slope intercept form. So my thing is I want to get y all by itself. And there are many ways to do it. Here's the smoothest way. What can I do with this 2 that's outside these parentheses right here? We're going to distribute it. Please watch the work shown. This y minus 5 needs to come down. I haven't done anything with the y minus 5, so bring it down. And we're going to distribute the 2 through. 2 times x is 2x. And then I do this. You'll thank yourself later. Let's figure out the signs of these two guys. This is a positive dude times a negative dude. What should the sign turn out to be? It should be negative, so I'm going to do that first. Bing! There's the sign. And then I just take the 2 times the 1 and get 2 in that case. Does that seem okay with you for that first move? I distributed. I would like to get y all by itself. I'm still not there. This dude is in my way. That is a minus 5. How can I get rid of that minus 5 to the other side? We're going to add 5 to both sides. If you don't want to show the baby step, I'm fine with that. But doesn't it get added to this nugget right here? I will show the baby step for your benefit. Don't you have to add it to the stuff that is like terms in that? So the 2x had no one to play with. Negative 2 plus 5 is a positive 3. And my question here is, did I get y all by itself on one side of the equal sign? Now, from that, you could tell what the slope is and what the y-intercept. We already knew what the slope was, right? It was 2. It better still be 2. What's the y-intercept of that line? It's at 3, right, which they did not have for us. We found the potatoes, you know what I mean, the steak and potatoes. So let's do that again. Welcome to Fraction Town. It's going to be a lot of fraction stuff today. Do they give you a slope and a point? We will use point slope form. So let's do it. Y minus y1. Talk to me, Goose. Who is y1? Negative 3. Oh, no. I got to do minus a minus 3, which means we really write it as a what? Plus 3. So y minus y1, I got that, equals m, which is 1/4, times the quantity of, that's how you properly say the parentheses out loud, times the quantity of x minus x1. Are you with me on the setup? Cool. Y plus 3 is going to come down, and then we'll distribute the 1/4 through. What's 1/4 times x? 1/4 x. Get the signs next. Trust me, it'll save you a lot of headache later. This is a positive times a negative. What's the sign going to turn out to be? Negative. Cool. Now you don't have to worry about signs, right? Now you're just dealing with the numbers. And for the first few, for sure, does this number go into that number evenly? Does 4 go into 8 evenly? How many times? 2. Then you take that times the numerator of 1, and you still get a 2. And that's why I don't have to worry about, is it a positive 2 or is it a negative 2? Who cares? I got the signs taken care of already, right? So then there's just one more move. I need to move this plus 3 over. How do I move the plus 3 over? Subtract 3. Subtract 3. If you don't want to show that last baby step there, fine by me. I will say there's a huge amount of sign errors at this last move, so it's probably beneficial for those. Rock on. Would you do this? Check to see you got what I got. And then set up number 13 in point slope form and check with mine, right? Put the numbers in the right place. Check with your neighbor, check with me. So y minus y1, which is like got to be a minus 4, and then we have the slope right there, and then here's minus a minus inside of those parentheses. Groovy? All right, let's do this. We'll distribute. First move, bring the y minus 4 down. Negative 2/3 times x, that should be a freebie. What happens to people is they can't read their own handwriting and they lost their negative sign somewhere, you know, so what makes the negative signs large enough. And here, let's rock the signs first. This is a negative number times a positive number. What's the sign going to turn out to be? What's it going to be? Negative. Oops, sorry, I didn't want to put a 2. I don't know why. But it's going to be negative. Then, does this denominator of 3 go into 9 evenly? 3 goes into 9 3 times. Then you take that times your numerator, which you don't care about its sign anymore, right? It's a 2 up there, right? So 3 times 2, did we get a 6 back? Just take care of the signs, first move in that, and we'll be groovy. Cool. And then let's add 4 over it. So this is to find the slope and the y-intercept when they don't give it to you, when they give you a point and a slope. Pretty lame, right? Not the most exciting stuff. To me, this is like if you were a basketball player, this is doing sprints. This is like getting us in shape to play the game here. Like we're just kind of doing that or practicing free throws. It's practice, practice, practice. Let's roll again, man. Could you get him set up in point slope form? Oh, timeout, I should start kind of doing this. Why am I using point slope form? Did they give me a point and did they give me a slope, right? So I just need to keep re-emphasizing that. When they give you a point and they give you a slope, we'll use point slope form. Set them up, check with mine. Y plus 6 coming down, 2/5 times x is 2/5 x, and get your signs taken care of first, man. 2/5, excuse me, a positive dude times a negative dude will be negative. And then this is the move. It doesn't hurt my feelings if you want to double check it with a calculator. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not quite sure how this is going, you know, but I'd like you to just realize I've hand-picked these to where this number goes into that number evenly. It won't always happen, you know. But so does 5 go into 5 once, right, times the numerator of 2. And then let's subtract 6 over, baby. Boom, 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 boom. And then I'll let you do the next 2. Why don't you pause the video and check them out, and I'll just put them up sporadically. Here is 15's answer. If you have paused the video to check it out, just watch the signs and then give 16 a try. So on 16, I can go straight to this. How did I know that? What's the slope? The slope is 0. Means that's what kind of line? Horizontal, vertical, or oblique? Anything with a 0 slope is what kind of line? Horizontal. See, it's experience that I have that you're still learning. And I'm not saying we're not smart. We're very smart, but we're still learning, right? If you see a slope that's undefined, no work needed. If you see a slope that's 0, no work needed, right? So, hey, if you got to y equals 5, that's cool. You got the right answer. That's good. It just took time. Are you with me on it? It took time. What scared a bunch of you is distributing that 0 through. We didn't realize that you should get 0 back when you distribute 0 through. You know what I'm saying? But, hey, let's look for cheat codes. So we'll do that on the rest of these problems, except they changed the rules here. I'm looking for point slope form to be finalized. Here's my question. I take that back. I'm looking for slope-intercept form to be finalized. I want the steak and I want the potatoes. I want the slope and I want the y-intercept. Talk to me. Do we have the slope? Nope. So we're going to have to find that, right? Do we have the y-intercept? That's something I'll just tell you right now because we're smart. If any of these guys are a 0, those 2 orange guys, those x guys, if they're a 0, then that other dude is the y-intercept in that case. Do I have the y-intercept? No, I do not. So here's what we got to do. We're going to keep it organized. We're going to find the steak first. Let's find the slope. How do I mean keep it organized? Do just what I asked you to earlier. Start with m equals. And then let's do it. y2 is 8 minus y1. So do you see how we got minus a minus up there? And then 5 minus 2 down here. Are we all groovy with that? So upstairs and downstairs. I'll answer this as many times as you need me to. The answer is yes. Should we simplify that? Yes. What's 12 divided by 3? 4. Cool. We have found the slope. We have the steak, right? What we need is the y-intercept, which we do not have. So I look at other ingredients. Do I have any points provided for me? Points, yes or no? They gave me 2 of them, right? Would you believe they gave me 2 of them? So which one should I choose? It doesn't matter. You tell me, first one or second one, which one do you want to use? Second one is what I've heard. So here's what I ask you to do when we have paper, you know, like on paper, like our quizzes and our tests, circle the one that you're going to use. So we'll circle this guy. And let's do this. I've got a point, and I've got a slope. What form should I run to? Point, slope, form, right? Let's put this in point, slope, form. So y minus y1, look at the point you circled, and would you believe he is 8? People are like, isn't that y2? I know what you're thinking, you know, like out of the two ordered pairs, but it's just like this is the y value of the point you have selected, right? 4 times the quantity of x minus 5. Do you see how I used that point that I circled, right? And now it should be free money, right? Distribute to 4 and roll through there. Oh, we forgot to cheat. We'll cheat on the next one. So y minus 8 comes down, showing all that beautiful work. Sorry, y'all. Come on, man. 4x minus 20. Add 8 to both sides. And isn't that a negative 12 still? But I kind of told you I forgot to cheat. I knew that was going to be oblique before we started because the x's were not the same, nor are the y's the same. Are you with me? Like we should look at that first, and I forgot to walk you through that. So let's do that here on the next one. Will this be horizontal, vertical, or oblique? If it's horizontal, shouldn't those y values be the same? They are not. If it's vertical, shouldn't those x values be the same? It is not, right? So let's find the slope first. Find me some slope. Watch your signs. We all make sign errors, myself included. Watching those signs. And this is where we start getting dangerous because my question is, does that reduce? It does. You're welcome to use a calculator to help you, but 3 goes into each one of those numbers, right? And then here's an accidental whoopsie poopsie poopsie. What did I do wrong? I reduced it, but not right. What did I forget? I forgot the negative. You know, you get so excited that you reduced the 3 over 12 that you need him to be negative. Which point do you want to use? First one or second one? Let's use the second one again. It don't matter. It don't matter. Pick a point, any point. It'll work for you. If you use the other one, we'll get the same thing with different numbers, but the answer will be the same. So y plus 1 equals negative 1/4 times the quantity of x minus 8. This is y1, x1. Yes, look at this. This is awesome sauce. My favorite of all the sauces, by the way. Negative 1/4 x. Here's where your brain will love you. Signs, a negative times a negative will turn out to be what? Positive. Right? Do those signs first. Now you don't have to worry about them signs. 4 goes into 8 twice. Take that times the numerator, and you still get you a 2 back in that case. And then I'm going to subtract 1. Look how nice and organized all my work is. My handwriting isn't the best, but my work is pretty organized. You can have anybody that knows a small bit about math know exactly what you did up here, all because you put m equals to start with. It's like, oh, they're finding the slope right there. You know, they're totally finding the slope. So we oakley-dokley do with that. Do this for me. Explain to your neighbor on 19 if it's horizontal, vertical, or oblique before you even get started, and how you know that. This one has to be oblique because the y's are not the same and the x's are not the same. So let's roll through it. How do we start? Find the stake. All right, let's find the slope. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And that would be 6 over 3, which totes reduces. Then let's do this. Shall we run the experiment? First 2 rows, you guys right here. I would like you to use the first point. The last 2 rows, I would like you to use the second point. We should get the same answer, but we'll have completely different numbers. I'll do both of them for you. So first point. First point is in green. Second point is in blue. Got the same thing both times. I went really fast. Sorry for the sloppy handwriting. But it doesn't matter which point you would choose. So let's talk about which one was probably a better selection. The first one was probably better. Why was the first one better? It had smaller numbers with it than the other one. You know what I'm saying? Pick the one with smaller numbers. Don't let negatives scare you, because literally the negatives will turn into positives when you put them into point slope form, because you have to minus a minus, you know? So don't let the negatives scare you. You feel pretty cozy with what we're doing. Let's see how few of the next ones we have to do. Get number 20 done, but I would do this first. See if it's horizontal, vertical, or oblique before you get started. If it's horizontal or vertical, cheat code it. Here is the slope on number 20. It is not horizontal or vertical. It is oblique, because things are different. And then when we pick a point, I'm picking this guy right here and use point slope form. I have been corrected out there in video land. That should be a positive 4. I made a mistake because I was going too fast. So then this answer is a negative 1/3 for a slope. It doesn't matter where the negative goes. It can go upstairs, downstairs, who cares, right? Somewhere there. So now I've got to do it all over again. So we'll do y plus 3, because I'm choosing the second point. It doesn't matter, but as long as you choose the same point. Negative 1/3 times x plus 6. And then we'll bring y plus 3 down. Negative 1/3 times x is free money. And then a negative times a positive is a negative 2. And then we will subtractify 3. And you can keep going. We'll do 21 as well. Might as well. Might as well. Here's the slope on 21. I have gotten it right, too. And then here is the work on that. Check, make sure I didn't make a mistake. And I think that we get it, but I'll let us do 22, because if you're really paying attention, that should take you about 2 seconds to do number 22. All right. Who's the same in 22? The negative 3's, which are the what's. So what would you like this equation to be? Y equals negative 3. Here's the bonus questions. What kind of line is that? Horizontal. What's the slope? It's got to start memorizing. I can feel the hesitation. It's fine, you know, but every horizontal line slope is 0, right? Every horizontal line slope is 0. All right, let's go story time in. Let's check it out. A streaming service. That's like, you know, like YouTube TV or Hulu or something, like a streaming service, you know, offers a package of TV channels for $39.95 per month, bing, plus a one-time startup fee. The cost for the setup after 6 months of service is this much money. Use the above info to identify a point and a slope. Let's talk about the slope first. Which one of those numbers do you feel is like the slope, like the rate of change from month to month to month? $39.95. I also highlighted the per because that's usually a big clue that that's a change. Obviously, we're going decimally here. You know, it's like this is a story problem, so decimals make sense. And then let's write a point on this guy. So let's talk about the 2 labels again. The labels would be dollar bills and months. Which one of those do you feel should be an X value, months or dollars? Months, time. Time is some sort of X value. So how do you feel about after 6 months, right? You know, after 6 months, the price was $264.70. Did you notice that I put it in parentheses? That's how ordered pairs are supposed to be written. That's why I love our homework program. They make you put them in parentheses like they're supposed to be. Cool. Look what they gave me. A point and a slope. Correct? Guess what we'll do? We'll use point slope form. So let's rock with it. It's definitely calculator time for sure. Y minus Y1 That's that weird 264.70 equals m of 39.95 times x minus x1. And then I'll bring my stuff down. Nothing changes over here. That looked good when I was walking around at work, too. I appreciate it. I can do 39.95 times x without a calculator. It's 39.95x. I'm going to get my sign next. It's positive times negative. Boom, that is negative. And I shall definitely use my calculator to take 39.95 times 6. I would really appreciate if we start using the right kind of decimals. This is money. How many decimals should you always use for money? 2. So we will put a 0 at the end of that. You know what I'm saying? So 239.70. I know mathematically you don't put the 0, but with money, did you do? Cool. All right, keep going. Solve that for x. Or excuse me, get that in slope-intercept form. We're not solving it for x. Get that in slope-intercept form. So I added 264.70. Y would equal 39.95x plus. What did you get over there? Cool. What if the question asked you, what was the startup fee? What was the startup fee? $25. Isn't that the y-intercept in that? So it's like, okay, I got to pay a $25 fee, and then it's $39.95 per month. Let us know if you have any questions. Have a good one.